Hey wonderful people, I hope that you guys are well. Today I thought that I'm gonna do a reading about the Lionsgate portal and to talk about it a little bit. So there is a very powerful activation which happens between the end of July and mid-August, but the peak point of it is the 8th of August, so 8-8. And it's very significant because this is when Sirius is also being seen on the horizon, so it's rising. And this is a time when there's a very increased cosmic energy that is flowing between the spiritual and material realm. Sirius is associated with the expansive qualities of Jupiter. And whenever we are entering this Lionsgate portal, that is basically a gateway of a manifestation. And the energies are multiplied. And I talked on my other channel last year as well about the Lionsgate portal, that everything that we put energy into in this period will get multiplied, will get more expansive. And it is not a coincidence that ancient civilizations have always honored this time. So for example, the Orion's belt is aligning perfectly with the pyramid of Giza, and from our perspective it looks like Sirius, the star, is coming closer to the earth, so the energies of Sirius can be felt much more intensely. I don't know what is the right expression. I think I used last year the expression organic stargate, that is helping us to get imbued with this cosmic energy that will help us to tap into higher level of consciousness and more awareness and more alignment with our soul. And because Sirius is aligning with the sun, it is helping us to anchor our consciousness. So Sirius is working as an anchor for our consciousness. So this is a period when we can get to a higher expression of ourselves. Sirius, the fixed star, has been referenced in ancient cultures. Buddhism is also referencing Sirius as an important stargate and the gateway to higher realms. So when you are passing through different planetary spheres after transitioning from the human body, then you have to pass through the gateway of Sirius, and many cultures and many ancient texts are referencing that. And there's a very tight connection, a very deep connection that is tying us to Sirius, to the fixed star, because a big part of our DNA is referencing that connection. And when the peak of this Lionsgate portal happens, then a big part of our DNA almost lights up, and we are able to receive information from higher realms. So I talk about this in more detail in my video from last year, so I don't want to repeat the same information, and that is on my other channel, but then I will put it up here so you can watch it if you're interested. But the idea here is that in this period we are able to receive a lot of ancestral information from our ancestral lineage, because we are tapping into a consciousness that is a higher expression of our already existing consciousness. So we are tapping into a higher realm through this organic portal, organic stargate. So because of the heightened energies that are coming from the cosmos, this is a very holy time. It's a time when we are putting energy into something, or we are performing something, for example rituals. The energies will get amplified, and that is why this holy time is being used by many occult circles and many low vibrational beings as well, that are trying to use these amplified energies for the inversion. So inversion means that using these energies for destructive purposes and inverting these holy times. I talk about that in that video as well, more in detail. Alright, so I wanted to pull a few cards in regards to what is happening this year, and let's see what the collective is going through. So a reading of these collective energies. Alright, so Spirit, I'm gonna use this deck called Pagan Other Words, which I received from an amazing friend, Karima. And I think this deck is perfect for today's reading. So Spirit, please tell us, what is that the collective can expect? What is that we can expect this year at the Lionsgate portal? What is that the collective is going through, and what is healing? So we have the Page of Cups that is reversed. Okay, let me see what is the next card. We have the Seeker reversed. So the Seeker in this deck is something that you cannot find in other decks, in other tarot decks. And the seeker actually talks about the individual's mystical quest for a knowledge. And also, I feel like it is talking about cycles that the human being and the individual has to go through in order to find himself or herself. So a little bit is giving me this hermit energy, hermit vibes, when the individual is going through a spiritual journey, and it is having to give up on lots of things and maybe even to sacrifice things for the sake of purification and for the sake of finding oneself. And by sacrifice, I mean understanding one's humanness and understanding some destructive patterns as well, which is very much like that, the devil energy. And understanding that those patterns and the inversion of certain energies in the lower chakras and the inverted energies in those lower chakras. So by inverted energies, I mean the flow of energy that is happening in an inverted way, or there's like a blocked energy in the lower chakras, which is a result of childhood trauma, which is a result of some imbalances in one's childhood. And basically everything goes back to the lack of love and the lack of acceptance and the lack of belonging to the community. What I wanted to say is that by that inversion, one is realizing that has been operating from a lower expression. Realizing that we operate from a lower expression is also asking for integration. And for that integration, what we are needing is to accept ourselves for operating from a lower expression. That is actually talking about shadow work and going through, and look, we have the infinity symbol there, which is signifying this Lionsgate portal, 8-8, the significance of also integration. Okay, so now I'm receiving some downloads. So it is the integration of the two polarities here, the integration of the ego, the acceptance of the ego, and then the transcendence of the ego, which is the other side of that infinity symbol. And the real integration happens in between those two polarities. So that is that point which is standing still. The energy is flowing in both directions eternally. So there's no beginning and there's no end to it. They're just the flowing of energies. And we are talking about transcendence here, and we are talking about transformation from one state to the other state. So for example, from physical transformation to a spiritual transformation. I don't know if that is making sense, because I'm receiving some information now and I'm trying to explain that information. And it's very hard because I feel imbalanced as well these days, to be fair, and I feel very ungrounded. So what Spirit is saying here is that the seeker might feel like it is seeking forever and there's no end to what is seeking, and there's no destination when it comes to finding the truth. But it is still doing because it is serving the expansion of himself and herself, and it is also serving the expansion of the universe. So it is going both ways. It is the expansion of the individual, is the expansion of the collective, and through the expansion of the collective we are experiencing the expansion of our planet as well, and then the universe at large. And the Page of Cups reversed, that was the first card that came out, that is signifying that in order for that integration and the transcendence to happen, we need to accept both the negative and the positive polarity, both of our negative and positive emotions, because they are all serving a purpose. So by the seeker, when I was talking about the seeker, what I meant is not that is asking us to judge ourselves for our negative feelings and emotions, but rather accepting those emotions and seeing the purpose in those both polarities, that they are crucial for our expansion and they are crucial for the expansion of the universe. And the lowest hanging fruit in that case is our negative emotions, and tapping into those emotions and letting ourselves to feel, because the collective is still battling with this resistance when it comes to negative things, when it comes to our anger or lower vibrational emotions and feelings like anger, like resentment, hate, apathy, depression, fear, fear of oneself, fear of not being accepted, fear of losing love. The whole universe is based on two polarities, and this is what this Lionsgate portal is teaching us. It's based on love and fear. And all the emotions, both negative and positive, are just byproducts of these two polarities, love and fear. And when we are asking ourselves why we are doing certain things and why we are dealing with certain things in this life, if we are paying attention to our actions, our coping mechanisms, to our adaptation mechanisms, everything goes back to wanting to be loved, wanting to be accepted. Simple things like wanting to feel better or paying attention to our health, paying attention to our daily habits. Everything goes back to doing those things because we want to experience what is to feel balanced, what is to feel whole, what is to feel integrated. That is going back to wanting to feel what is love, because love is integration, love is wholeness, love is peace, love is joy. So everything, all these positive and high vibrational emotions are byproducts of love. So I feel like August and this Lionsgate portal will be a returning to the heart, a returning to the feeling of love. What is to feel like you are accepted. You are accepted by the universe, you are supported by the universe, you are supported by people and your environment. A return to love, a return to yourself in a sense. Okay, we have the Seven of Pentacles and then we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so I feel like Venus is, because Venus is retrograde right now, and Venus is representing relationships, beauty, love, but then also it is representing finances and money and how we are making money. Themes that are regarding money and our finances will come up. So Venus is getting very, very strong on the 8th of August, actually, exactly on the day of the Lionsgate portal, because it is conjuncting Lilith and it's also squaring Uranus. So this will be the peak of Venus's cycle, 40-day cycle. Plus we have the Lionsgate portal. So it's very, very intense period where the energies will be super, as I said, multiplied, super amplified as well. So Venusian themes will come up, but then Uranus is in the picture as well because Venus is squaring Uranus, and Uranus is the planet of sudden changes, but then also freedom and the freedom of the collective. So Uranus is a higher expression of Mercury, for example, and Uranus is always wanting us to break free from our limitations. And by Venus conjuncting Lilith at 23 degrees in Leo, it will reveal the darkest parts of ourselves, which is Lilith, our darkest desires, our biggest desires that we don't want to admit to ourselves. And it will call us to break free from the limitations that are not letting us to achieve those desires or to achieve those goals that we repressed. Themes, things about yourself that you have repressed for a very long time may come up, okay, in this period. And it will propel you to break free from the limitations, which is Uranus. And that can happen on a collective level as well. So we might see people getting free, okay? Seven of Pentacles in this case is talking about limitations of finances, because the Seven of Pentacles is always this energy of, okay, I'm working hard, I'm working towards something, but I don't see when this will end. I don't see if my work will ever bring any results. So I'm working to a degree of exhaustion. I'm even burning myself out in the process, but I cannot stop because I'm still hoping that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and I will get what I want. I will get what I desire. Okay, so themes that are related to working hard, to how we are earning a living, how we are handling our finances might come up because they are all ruled by Venus and they are all Venusian energies. We also have the Page of Pentacles here that came out in an upright position, and that is saying that this is a time, and especially because Pluto is also squaring the nodes, and we have North Node in Aries now, which is giving us stamina and courage and to go unapologetically for what we want. So it's a great time for starting new businesses, and it's a great time to lay down the foundations of something new, to lay down the foundations of a new way of earning a living. I don't like to use that, because why we should earn a living, right? It's our birthright. We were born to live. We were born to live this life at the fullest. And we don't have to earn that. So maybe questions related to, do I have to earn a living? Or it is something that it's a given. It is something that is my birthright and I deserve it. Okay, so maybe understanding and seeing ourselves as worthy of the best things in life, worthy of love, which is Venus, worthy of heartfelt emotions, worthy of relationships that are balanced, and worthy of having a life that is abundant. So basically worthy of abundance and being rich in all areas of our lives. And I'm not necessarily talking about like material richness and being wealthy, but richness in our emotional world as well, when it comes to our emotions. Okay, bottom of the deck we have the Emperor, that is upright as well. That is saying that if you're using the energies of the Lionsgate portal in a strategic way and in a grounded fashion, you will be rewarded, because the energies that you put into your work and when you put an intention out there in the universe that you want something to be manifested in your life, and you're using this Emperor energy as well, which is strategy and being very grounded, and you're also tapping into and stepping into your leadership role and leading by example, then the universe will reward you with amplified energies when it comes to abundance. Okay, so if you feel like you are working on something and you don't see results of your work, know that you are also laying down the foundations of something new, of something that will withstand the test of time, because that is Emperor. Okay, so it's not only laying down some energies that will not be long lasting. No, you are learning something and you are perfecting yourself. Okay, we also have the Ten of Swords here, and the Ten of Swords is always indicating a period, and the long period that is behind you that has been exhausting, and that might be in regards to relationships as well, and there's no more movement forward because you have hit rock bottom. And you're also so burned out that you cannot move forward in the same fashion. And I feel like we have the Magician reversed as well. And I feel like we will experience that energy in regards to our work. Not believing in our manifestation powers. Having this lack mentality in regards to what is that we deserve, what is that life can bring us. And because we are having this lack mentality and scarcity mindset, that will burn us out. But that burnout needs to happen. It is absolutely necessary. So let yourself be burnt out in any area that you don't see results. It is time for you to listen to your heart, and that is Venus again, to listen to your heart-based energies and what your heart is desiring. Not conventional thinking is something that will bring you results in life, but the heart and what the heart is desiring. That is Lilith. And this is also a time when it is time to let go of the shame, or first to face the shame and certain desires that are being linked to shame. So there's a shame element in some of our desires, and it's time to look at those desires and to honor them. That is Lilith, because Lilith is like the black moon. Is literally like having to do with our darkest desires. So look at your darkest desires and stop being ashamed of them. This is what this Lionsgate portal is also helping you. Okay, Nine of Wands. Very interesting, because that is talking about defensiveness and having very strong boundaries. There's really like this unapologetic energy here with the Ten of Swords and the Nine of Wands. It's like I no longer let myself to be ashamed of what I am, and everyone who is crossing that boundary, everyone who is trying to make me feel ashamed or is not accepting me for my desires can leave. I'm picking up on this unapologetic energy that I'm the one that matters here. I'm putting myself in the first place. And this is what North Node in Aries. I'm the one who matters here. I didn't come to this world to downplay myself and to give up on myself. It's time to re-own what I am, to re-own my desires and all these aspects of myself that were disowned and pushed away. Okay, so everybody who is not accepting me for what I am is free to leave. That's kind of the energy. Okay, the Two of Pentacles can also say here that there can be partnerships and new partnerships that are forming that will help us with our businesses, will help us with putting forward certain ideas and the manifestation of certain ideas. So kind of they are helping us with the materialization of certain ideas here. The Two of Pentacles is also being represented in Tarot by someone that is juggling between two things, and with that infinity symbol, like juggling between work and home life, between the spiritual and the material, and kind of that never-ending energy where this is going to end. So we might be facing a little bit of overwhelmed energies, like feeling overwhelmed in the process, but that is because these two energies and these two aspects of our lives that we are juggling with are calling for integration. So let me give you an example. Instead of juggling between and trying to reach perfection in your private life, in being a mom and then also having a career, what if you can integrate these two aspects somehow? What if you can make being a mom your profession as well? Obviously that is easier said than done. These two aspects that we are juggling in between, maybe a hobby and then your profession, your job and your hobby, that you might be having a lot of work and you don't have a lot of time for your hobbies. What if you can create abundance from your hobby? You just have to allow yourself to go down that road that might be very, very scary, because our society is teaching us that we cannot make money out of something that we love. And what if we recognize that this is a lie, this is a false belief system and a social conditioning that is no longer serving us? Okay, so Pluto moving into Aquarius will be about much more creative energy, much more inspiration and intuition through which we can make money. So if you're an intuitive person, you can make money out of your intuition. And if you love spirituality and that is your hobby, and when you get home from work, you're working on yourself and working on your own healing, what if you make healing your profession as well? You can make it your work and it will not feel like work. But again, it's easier said than done. King of Wands reverse. So King of Wands reverse is always reminding me of the collective and the passion in the collective as well, which turns into more like a rebellious energy. So we might be experiencing in August as well, maybe more standing up for what we believing in, more protests or riots, or this collective energy that is super passionate, but it wants to express itself. And because it didn't have a voice up to this point, it did just have like some fire burning. And if it cannot express itself, that fire, or we cannot let that fire to burn, then it will explode. And you know that Uranus square can talk about that, like sudden burnings, sudden shifts in one's consciousness, but then also these collective energies, maybe impulsiveness as well, because like that is North Node in Aries. So there are lots of energies and cosmic energies that are in the collective right now, and that Uranus square can bring unexpected events and maybe an explosion as well. Okay, it can be like literally an explosion. Now that doesn't mean that we have to be afraid of something horrible happening, but just like an explosion in one's anger. Okay, we have the Two of Cups actually. So changes in the relationship. And we have this Moon card. I think this is the first, no, it's reversed actually. So it's last quarter moon that is reversed. I feel like with the Two of Cups and the last quarter moon, what many people will go through is a deep transformation in the relationships and kind of having the last dance. having a less chance to realize if this relationship can go and move forward, or is needing a change, because there's definitely an end of a road here. And where is the ten of swords that I got? There's definitely an end of a cycle here with the 10, and there's a completion, so we cannot move forward in the same manner. So now it's time for us to recognize if we do something about that and we change something because we have still things to do with each other, or we take separate ways. But I feel like there's a deep transformation in relationships. And I also feel like there are new relationships that are forming now. And because there is an end of a karmic period with the nodes changing, there are new relationships that start forming, and new also karmic contracts that will have to manifest. It's time for those karmic connections to start forming, okay? And it's time for a new cycle to begin. Okay, let me just pull some cards from this other deck. So, Spirit, what else is that you can say about this Lionsgate portal? Lionsgate portal 2023. So, we have the White Witch, be the light. Look at that. We do have the Pentacles there as well, and then we have the Owl. So, the Owl is signifying a period of putting your wisdom into your work and how you are making money, like using much more wisdom and much more information that is coming from your heart when it comes to making money, when it comes to handling your finances. So I feel like there's a deep transformation in areas of our business, our jobs, of again how we are making money, how we are creating abundance, and much more creative ways of using heart-based wisdom and not just the intellect, okay, and not just those masculine energies, but like more like a feminine softness, more like a receptive kind of energy that will ensure much more abundance to come in. We also have spring. See your seeds grow, and we have the rabbit there. So the rabbit is symbolizing also this abundant energy. Rabbit in ancient cultures was actually symbolizing that gateway to higher dimensions as well, and the gateway to the underworld. You know, it's the journey of the soul, and it's reminding me of this seeker that I got. It is the journey of the soul that has to go through the darkness in order to recognize what is the light, or in order to integrate the light as well. Without going through experiences of darkness, we cannot integrate the light. Okay, this is saying that you will see your seeds growing. Okay, so whatever you planted some time ago, because I feel like things that we have planted and seeds that we planted some time ago, now we will see those things grow as well. Also, this card, I feel like, is also saying that you will be the light, and you will recognize yourself being the light. Now again, this is a download that I'm receiving. You are being the light even in situations when you consider yourself to be the darkness. Being the light doesn't mean that you will have to allow and enable everyone to do whatever they want so they feel loved. That's not being the light. Being the light is being the mirror for someone, volunteering for other people to see the darkness within themselves through you. So instead of wanting to be the light always, and wanting to be good and accepted, and wanting to be the good girl, the good guy always, who is always understanding of everyone and accepting of everybody, instead of those energies which are actually not the light and having nothing to do with the light, or having only to do with codependency and fear of conflict. So instead of those energies, have the balls to be the darkness for someone, okay? And it's very interesting because in the past few weeks, this is what I realized about myself, that I don't want to be the light. In my deepest moments of darkness, I can be the light. So as paradoxical as it sounds, just by being myself and being authentic, I am the light, okay? And my authentic self is not always light. Many times it is darkness, and that is perfectly fine. I don't want to be accepted. I want to be myself. I'm accepting myself, and that's all that matters. I'm the authentic expression of myself, even if I bring sometimes darkness or things that are being considered darkness. Okay, so it's really like making friends with your own demons and seeing yourself as human. Okay, not seeing yourself in this spiritual bubble and fake spirituality, which I always talk about, but being authentic and being real. That's all that matters here. Let's see what is the next card. Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. So yeah, as I said, connecting with emotions doesn't mean that we only connect to our positive emotions, but we connect to our negative ones, okay? And that is the biggest challenge for us these days, to be able to connect to our negativity and to accept our negativity just as we are accepting our positivity. Alright guys, so this is what I'm seeing for the Lionsgate portal. I hope it resonated. It will be a very intense, very powerful period. This is a long video, by the way. But I feel like I needed to cover loads of things that I wanted to cover for quite a long time. If this resonated with you, then please give this video a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel. I have another channel which is called Evelin, and if you want to support my work, there are a few links down below in which you can do that. I'm no longer doing Patreon. I posted this on my community tab on my other channel that from the 1st of August I'm not gonna be making Patreon videos, because unfortunately my time doesn't allow me to do that. There are many changes that I want to bring in my work as well, and I just cannot do it. It might be a temporary pause and a temporary break, I don't know yet. But thank you so much everybody who has supported me on my Patreon, and those of you that are also doing it. So I didn't close my page, so those of you that want to support my work there, you can still do that. And I might be posting things there as well. I might be posting videos as an early access, so you might have access to certain videos before I post them on YouTube. So guys, thank you so much again for being here. Thank you so much for your support, for watching. Have an amazing August and Lionsgate portal, and I cannot wait to see you next time.